First contact. The skies above Earth shimmered with an otherworldly glow as the massive alien vessel materialized from hyperspace. Its sudden appearance sent shockwaves through global defense systems, triggering alarms and mobilizing military forces worldwide. Captain Sarah Chen of the International Space Station watched in awe as the colossal ship, easily the size of a small moon, settled into a stable orbit. Its sleek, crystalline surface reflected the pale blue of Earth, creating a mesmerizing spectacle against the backdrop of stars. "Control, are you seeing this?" Sarah's voice crackled over the comms, her eyes never leaving the alien craft. "Affirmative, Captain Chen," came the tense reply from Mission Control. "All nations are on high alert. Stand by for further instructions." As the world held its breath, waiting for either salvation or destruction, the alien ship remained motionless. Hours ticked by, stretching into a full day of anxious anticipation. Then, without warning, a message burst across every communication channel on Earth. "People of Earth," a melodious voice resonated in perfect English, tinged with an otherworldly accent. "We come seeking your aid. Our world faces extinction, and you alone possess the key to our survival." The declaration sent shockwaves through human society. Governments scrambled to respond, scientists theorized wildly, and the general population oscillated between fear and fascination. Dr. Akira Tanaka, head of xenobiology at the United Nations Space Agency, found himself thrust into the spotlight as the world sought answers. "We must approach this with caution," he advised during an emergency UN session, "but also with an open mind. This could be the most significant moment in human history." As debates rage, a second transmission arrived, this time accompanied by visual data. The images depicted a world in crisis, vast wastelands spreading across once lush continents, oceans receding, and a population struggling to survive. "We are the Zarkin," the alien voice explained. "Our home, Zarkin Prime, is dying. A catastrophic chain reaction in our planet's core is causing rapid environmental collapse. Despite our advanced technology, we lack the specific knowledge needed to halt this process." The transmission paused, allowing the gravity of the situation to sink in. Then it continued. "Our research has shown that humans possess a unique perspective on geological processes. Your planet's dynamic nature has forced you to develop innovative solutions to environmental challenges. We believe this expertise, combined with our technology, could save our world." As the aliens' plight became clear, a wave of empathy swept across Earth. Humans, all too familiar with their own environmental struggles, felt a kinship with these distant beings facing extinction. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, a renowned geologist, voiced what many were thinking. "We've spent centuries learning to protect and heal our own planet. If we can use that knowledge to save another world, isn't it our duty to try?" The sentiment resonated globally, but practical concerns quickly arose. How would humans survive on an alien world? What risks would they face? And most importantly, could they trust the Zarkin? To address these questions, the aliens proposed a bold plan. They would send a small delegation to Earth, allowing humans to meet them face-to-face and conduct thorough examinations. In return, they requested that a team of Earth's experts be assembled, ready to depart for Zarkin Prime if both parties agreed to proceed. The world watched in fascination as a sleek shuttle detached from the alien mothership, descending gracefully through Earth's atmosphere. It touched down on a specially prepared landing zone outside the UN headquarters in New York. As the shuttle's doors opened, humanity collectively held its breath. The Zarkin that emerged were a sight to behold. Tall, graceful beings with iridescent skin that seemed to shimmer with inner light. Their large, expressive eyes held wisdom and, unmistakably, hope. The alien leader, introducing himself as Ambassador Zilvan, addressed the gathered world leaders and press. "We come in peace and desperation," he said, his voice carrying the same melodious quality as the earlier transmissions. "We offer friendship and knowledge in exchange for your help." Over the following days, the Zarkin underwent extensive medical examinations, proving they posed no biological threat to Earth. They freely shared information about their technology and culture, amazing scientists with their advancements in fields like quantum computing and clean energy. But it was their openness about their homeworld's crisis that truly won human trust. The Zarkin provided detailed data on their planet's deterioration, along with their failed attempts to halt it. Their honesty about their own limitations and their genuine distress over their world's fate touched human hearts. As trust grew, so did excitement about the potential mission. The chance to save an alien world, and in the process, gain unprecedented access to advanced extraterrestrial technology, was too compelling to ignore. A global initiative was launched to assemble the perfect team for the mission. Experts in geology, climatology, engineering, and a host of other fields were vetted and selected. Among them was Dr. Marcus Wells, a brilliant but unconventional geophysicist known for his innovative approaches to tectonic stabilization. "This is the opportunity of a lifetime," Marcus exclaimed during his selection interview. "The chance to apply our knowledge on a planetary scale to save an entire civilization. It's why I became a scientist in the first place." As the human team was assembled, the Zarkin worked tirelessly to prepare for their journey. They modified their ship to accommodate human physiology, creating living quarters that mimicked Earth's atmosphere and gravity. The day of departure arrived amidst a mixture of excitement and trepidation. Families bid emotional farewells to the chosen team members, acutely aware of the dangers they might face on a dying alien world. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, now appointed as the mission's lead geologist, hugged her daughter tightly. "I have to go, mi amor," she whispered. "We have a chance to do something incredible, something that could change the course of two civilizations." As the team boarded the alien ship, Captain Sarah Chen, selected for her space expertise, took one last look at the Earth. "We go as representatives of our entire species," she announced to her teammates. "Let's show the universe what humanity is capable of." With a flash of energy, the massive ship began to move, accelerating away from Earth. As it reached the edge of the solar system, it shimmered and vanished, entering hyperspace on its journey to a distant, dying world. Back on Earth, billions watched the departure, their hearts filled with pride, hope, and more than a little fear. Humanity had taken its first real step into the galactic community. Whether they would return as saviors or meet their doom on a foreign world remained to be seen. But one thing was certain: the human spirit of exploration, compassion, and determination was about to be tested as never before. The mission begins. The Zarkin vessel, christened Starbridge by its human passengers, hurtled through the cosmos at speeds that defied human comprehension. Inside, the Earth team marveled at the ship's technology, while grappling with the enormity of their mission. Dr. Marcus Wells floated in the ship's observation dome, his eyes wide with wonder as he watched unfamiliar stars streak by. "It's like a dream," he murmured, pressing a hand against the transparent material separating him from the vacuum of space. "A dream with very real stakes," Captain Sarah Chen reminded him, drifting up beside him. Her expression was a mixture of awe and determination. "We can't forget why we're here." The team of 20 Earth experts had spent the first few days of their journey in a whirlwind of medical checks and orientation sessions. Now, as they settled into a routine, the reality of their situation began to sink in. Dr. Elena Rodriguez pored over holographic displays of Zarkin Prime, her brow furrowed in concentration. The planet's rapid deterioration was unlike anything she'd seen before. "It's as if the planet's very foundation is unraveling," she explained to her colleagues during a briefing. "The core instability is causing tectonic shifts on a massive scale, leading to widespread geological and atmospheric chaos." The Zarkin scientists, led by the brilliantly minds of Zilvan and his assistant Naya, worked alongside the humans, providing context and answering questions. Their cooperation was seamless, driven by the shared goal of saving a world. Your planet's dynamic nature has forced you to develop unique problem-solving skills, Nay observed, her luminescent skin pulsing with excitement as she discussed theories with Marcus. We believe this fresh perspective, combined with our technology, could be the key to our salvation. As the ship journeyed on, the team delved deeper into their mission preparations. Engineers like Raj Patel worked to adapt Earth-based technologies to the alien environment they would face. We're basically rewriting the laws of physics as we know them. Raj chuckled, his hands dancing over holographic schematics. It's terrifying and exhilarating all at once. The journey also provided an unprecedented opportunity for cultural exchange. During rest periods, humans and Zarkin alike shared stories of their worlds, finding surprising commonalities despite their vast differences. Eva Thompson, the team's anthropologist, was in her element. It's fascinating, she enthused during one such session. The Zarkin have a rich artistic tradition, but it's based on manipulating light and energy rather than physical mediums. Imagine sculptures made of pure light. But beneath the excitement and scientific fervor, an undercurrent of tension ran through the ship. The stakes of their mission weighed heavily on everyone's minds. Failure meant not just personal disappointment, but the extinction of an entire civilization. This pressure came to a head one evening when an argument broke out in the ship's communal area. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the team's climatologist, voiced doubts about their chances of success. We're basing our entire strategy on theories and simulations, Yuki argued, her voice tight with stress. What if we're wrong? What if we make things worse? The room fell silent, the fear that had been simmering beneath the surface finally given voice. It was Zilvan who broke the tension, his melodious voice carrying a note of gentle reproach. Doubt is natural, Dr. Tanaka, the Zarkin ambassador said. But remember, we chose to seek your help because of humanity's greatest strength, your ability to face the impossible and find a way forward. Captain Chen stepped forward, her presence commanding attention. Zilvan is right, she declared. We're not here because we have all the answers. We're here because we're willing to try, to push the boundaries of what's possible. That's what humans do. Her words seemed to galvanize the team. The doubt didn't disappear entirely, but it was tempered by a renewed sense of purpose and determination. As they neared the halfway point of their journey, the team's preparations intensified. Simulations became more complex, theories were refined, and equipment was checked and rechecked. Every possible scenario was explored, from best-case outcomes to potential disasters. Dr. Rodriguez and her geological team spent hours analyzing the latest data from Zarkin Prime, refining their stabilization plans. We're essentially trying to restart a planet's core, Alina explained during one briefing. It's like performing heart surgery on a cosmic scale. Meanwhile, Marcus worked closely with the Zarkin scientists, his unconventional approach yielding promising results. We're looking at using controlled quantum fluctuations to reinforce the planet's magnetic field, he explained, his eyes gleaming with excitement. It's risky, but if it works, it could buy us the time we need to implement more permanent solutions. As the ship entered the final leg of its journey, a sense of anticipation built among the crew. The abstract goal of saving a planet was about to become very real. One evening, as the team gathered for a meal, Captain Chen proposed a toast. To Earth, she began, raising her glass. To the Zarkin, she continued, nodding respectfully to their alien hosts, and to the spirit of cooperation that brought us across the stars. Whatever challenges await us, we face them together. The humans and Zarkin raised their glasses in unison, the gesture bridging the vast differences between their species. In that moment, they were united not as separate races, but as beings committed to a common cause. As the Starbridge approached Zarkin Prime, final preparations were made. Equipment was secured, last-minute checks were performed, and heartfelt messages were sent back to loved ones on Earth. Dr. Elena Rodriguez recorded a video for her daughter, her eyes misting as she spoke. Mija, we're about to arrive. I don't know exactly what we'll face, but I promise you, we'll give it everything we have. Your mom's about to try and save a planet." She smiled, a mixture of pride and nervousness. "Wish us luck." Captain Chen's voice came over the intercom, steady and resolute. "All personnel, prepare for arrival. We're about to make history." From a distance, it looked serene. A blue-green orb swirled with white clouds. But as they drew closer, the signs of the planet's distress became apparent. Massive storm systems raged across its surface, while fissures in the crust glowed with ominous heat. "My God," Marcus breathed, staring at the holographic display. "It's worse than we thought." Zilven's voice was heavy with emotion as he addressed the team. "Welcome to our home," he said simply. "And thank you, all of you, for coming to its aid." As the star bridge entered orbit around Zarkin Prime, the Earth team felt the weight of their mission settle upon them. They had crossed the vastness of space, carrying with them the hopes of two worlds. Now, face to face with the dying planet, the real work was about to begin. The fate of an entire civilization rested in their hands. It was time to prove that humanity's indomitable spirit, combined with Zarkin technology, could indeed work miracles. The greatest challenge of their lives awaited on the surface below. Arrival and challenges. The descent to Zarkin Prime was a harrowing experience. The starbridge shuddered as it plunged through layers of turbulent atmosphere, buffeted by winds that howled at impossible speeds. Inside the ship, the Earth team gripped their seats, eyes wide as they watched the planet's ravaged surface rush up to meet them. "Brace for landing." Captain Chen's voice rang out over the comms, steady despite the chaos around them. With a bone-jarring thud, the ship touched down on the alien soil. For a moment, silence reigned. Then, slowly, the team began to unbuckle, exchanging nervous glances. Dr. Elena Rodriguez was the first to approach the viewports, gasping at the sight that greeted her. The landscape outside was like something out of a nightmare. The sky boiled with angry, crimson clouds, occasionally split by jagged bolts of lightning. The ground was a patchwork of cracked, barren earth and pools of bubbling, iridescent liquid. It's incredible," Elena breathed, her scientific curiosity momentarily overriding her shock. "The geological activity here is off the charts." Zilvan approached, his usually melodious voice tinged with sorrow. "This was once a lush valley," he said, gesturing to the desolate scene. "Now it's one of the few areas stable enough for us to land safely." The gravity of their mission hit home for the Earth team. This wasn't just about saving a planet. It was about restoring a world, bringing life back to this ravaged landscape. As the team prepared to disembark, they donned specially designed environmental suits. The Zarkin atmosphere, while breathable, was laden with toxic particulates from the ongoing geological upheaval. "Remember your training," Dr. Yuki Tanaka cautioned as she helped check suit seals. "The environmental conditions here are extreme and unpredictable. Stay alert at all times." With a hiss of equalizing pressure, the ship's main hatch opened. Captain Sarah Chen took the first step onto Zarkin Prime, her boot sinking slightly into the unstable ground. "One small step for a human," she quipped, her voice tight with emotion. "One giant leap for interspecies cooperation." The team fanned out, setting up equipment and taking readings. The air was thick with tension and excitement. They had trained for this moment, but nothing could have fully prepared them for the reality of standing on an alien world. Dr. Marcus Wells crouched, scooping up a handful of the strange, shimmer soil. "The mineral composition is fascinating," he mused, running it through a portable analyzer. "It's like the planet's entire geological history is written in these grains." As the initial surveys began, the enormity of the task before them became clear. The planet's core instability was causing rapid and unpredictable changes across its entire surface. Earthquakes were a near-constant occurrence, ranging from mild tremors to catastrophic events. Elena's team set up a network of advanced seismic sensors, their faces grim as they analyzed the data. The tectonic activity is off the charts, Elena reported during an emergency briefing. We're seeing shifts that would take millions of years on Earth happening in a matter of days here. The atmospheric team, led by Dr. Tanaka, faced equally daunting challenges. The planet's magnetic field is collapsing, Yuki explained, pointing to a holographic model. It's leading to rapid atmospheric degradation. If we can't stabilize it, Zarkin Prime will lose its atmosphere entirely within a year. As the days wore on, the team worked tirelessly, pushing themselves to the limits of human endurance. They were racing against time, trying to understand and counteract processes that were tearing an entire world apart. The Zarkin worked alongside them, their advanced technology complementing human ingenuity. But even they were struggling to keep up with their planet's rapid deterioration. A week into the mission, disaster struck. A massive earthquake, more powerful than any recorded in Earth's history, ripped across the planet's surface. The ground beneath the starbridge buckled and heaved, nearly toppling the massive ship. Everyone, back to the ship. Captain Chen's voice crackled over the comms, barely audible over the roar of the quake. The team scrambled for safety, helping each other as fissures opened in the ground around them. As they huddled in the relative safety of the starbridge, watching through viewports as the world outside tore itself apart, a sense of despair settled over the group. How could they hope to save a planet that seemed determined to destroy itself? It was Raj Patel, the ever-optimistic engineer, who broke the somber silence. Hey, if this was easy, they wouldn't have needed to cross half the galaxy to ask for our help, right? His attempt at humor was met with weak smiles, but it served to lift the mood slightly. In the aftermath of the quake, the team regrouped, reassessing their strategies. It was clear that their original plans were insufficient. They needed to think bigger, to come up with solutions as extreme as the problems they faced. Dr. Marcus Wells, his unruly hair wild from days without proper sleep, suddenly sat up straight, his eyes wide. "What if we're thinking about this all wrong?" he said, his words tumbling out in a rush of excitement. "We're trying to force the planet back into its old patterns, but what if we work with the changes instead of against them?" His idea was radical. Instead of trying to reverse the core instability, they would attempt to guide it, to channel the planet's violent energy into new, stable patterns. It was risky, with the potential to either save the planet or tear it apart entirely. The debate that followed was heated. Some argued that the risk was too great, that they should focus on more conservative approaches. Others, led by Marcus and Elena, insisted that bold action was their only hope. In the end, it was Zilvan who made the decision. "This is our home," he said, his voice carrying the weight of his entire civilization. "We have entrusted its fate to you. If this is what you believe gives us the best chance of survival, then we will support you." With the decision made, a new energy infused the team. They had a direction now, a plan that, while desperate, offered real hope. The next few days were a blur of activity as they reconfigured equipment and ran countless simulations. Elena and Marcus worked hand in hand with the Zarkin scientists, combining human theoretical models with alien technology in ways never before imagined. Raj and his engineering team worked miracles, adapting their equipment to channel and direct the massive energies they would be dealing with. As they prepared for their audacious attempt to reshape an entire planet, Captain Chen gathered the team for one final briefing. "What we're about to attempt has never been done before," she said, her voice steady but lined with tension. "The risks are enormous, but so are the stakes. Remember why we're here. Remember the trust the Zarkin have placed in us. Whatever happens, we face it together." The team nodded solemnly, each feeling the weight of two civilizations' hopes on their shoulders. As they moved to their stations, there was fear, yes, but also determination, excitement, and a fierce pride. They were about to attempt the impossible, to rewrite the laws of nature on a planetary scale. As the final preparations were made, Dr. Elena Rodriguez took a moment to record one last message to her daughter back on Earth. "Maija," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "We're about to do something incredible. If it works, we'll have saved an entire world. If it doesn't—" She paused, taking a deep breath. "Know that we try our best, that we gave everything we had. Your mom loves you, always." With a nod from Captain Chen, Marcus initiated the sequence. Massive energy emitters, positioned strategically around the planet, hummed to life. The ground began to tremble, the sky lit up with otherworldly energies, and the fate of Zarkin Prime hung in the balance. In that moment, as human ingenuity and alien technology combined in a desperate bid to save a dying world, the true test of their mission began. The next few hours would determine not just the fate of Zarkin Prime, but the future of interstellar cooperation and humanity's place in the cosmos. Human ingenuity prevails. The world seemed to hold its breath as the massive energy emitters pulsed to life. Streams of vibrant, otherworldly energy coursed across the turbulent skies of Zarkin Prime, converging at strategic points around the globe. The ground shuddered, a deep rumbling emanating from the planet's very core. Inside the Starbridge's control center, the air was thick with tension. Dr. Marcus Wells' fingers flew across holographic displays, making minute adjustments to the energy flow. Beside him, Dr. Elena Rodriguez called out readings from the seismic monitors, her voice steady despite the chaos unfolding around them. "Core temperature rising," Elena reported, her eyes fixed on the fluctuating data. "Tectonic stress is redistributing." "It's working, Marcus." But their elation was short-lived. Alarms blared as a new set of tremors rocked the ship. Yuki's voice cut through the noise, tight with urgency. "Atmospheric pressure is spiking. If this continues, it could trigger a runaway greenhouse effect." Captain Sarah Chen's calm voice anchored the team amidst the growing storm. "Stay focused, everyone. We knew this wouldn't be easy. Adapt and overcome." As the hours ticked by, the team worked in perfect synchronization, human and Zarkin alike. They faced challenge after challenge, each new problem requiring innovative solutions born from the melding of two vastly different scientific traditions. Raj Patel and his engineering team performed miracles, reconfiguring equipment on the fly to channel the immense energies they were dealing with. "It's like trying to rewire a nuclear reactor during a tsunami," Raj quipped, his humor belying the sweat beading on his brow. "Just another day at the office, right?" The Zarkin scientists, led by the ever-diligent Naya, provided crucial insights, their intimate knowledge of their world's systems proving invaluable. "The planet's magnetic field is stabilizing," Naya announced, her skin pulsing with excited bioluminescence. "Your theory was correct, Dr. Wells. We're actually redirecting the core's energy to reinforce the field." But for every problem solved, new ones emerge. The planet's crust, already weakened by years of instability, began to crack under the stress of their interventions. Massive fissures opened up, releasing plumes of toxic gas and molten material. "We need to seal those fissures," Elena shouted over the din of alarms. "If they spread, we could lose entire continents." It was Ava Thompson, the team's anthropologist, who provided an unexpected solution. "The Zarkin have an old terraforming technology," she said, her eyes lighting up with realization. "They used it to shape continents during their early colonization period. Could we repurpose it?" The idea was brilliant. Within minutes, Zarkin engineers were working alongside the human team, adapting their ancient technology to this new desperate purpose. Massive machines, dormant for millennia, whirred to life, their energy beams knitting together the planet's broken skin. As the grueling hours stretched into days, the team pushed themselves to the very limits of endurance. They worked in shifts, snatching moments of rest when they could, their dreams filled with swirling equations and the roar of a planet in turmoil. Through it all, the bond between the humans and Zarkin deepened. They were no longer two separate teams, but a single unit, united in their desperate bid to save a world. Language barriers fell away, replaced by a shared vocabulary of determination and hope. On the third day of their Herculean effort, a breakthrough came. Marcus, his eyes red-rimmed from lack of sleep, let out a whoop of joy. The core is stabilizing. The new energy patterns are holding. A cheer went up from the exhausted team, but their celebration was tempered by caution. They had learned the hard way that on Zarkin Prime, nothing was certain. As if to prove their caution warranted, a final challenge arose. The planet's atmosphere, roiled by the massive energy transfers, began to collapse. Storms of unprecedented fury swept across the globe, threatening to tear away the very air they had fought so hard to preserve. "We need to rebalance the atmospheric pressure," Yuki called out, her fingers dancing across her controls. "But our equipment can't handle the load. We'd need to convert the entire ship into one massive atmospheric regulator." Captain Chen didn't hesitate. "Do it," she ordered, her voice filled with quiet resolve. "Strip the starbridge of everything we need. This ship brought us across the stars to save this world. Let it complete that mission." What followed was a frenzy of activity as the team, reinvigorated by this final, desperate gambit, transformed their ship into the largest atmospheric regulator ever conceived. Walls were torn out, systems reconfigured, the very heart of the vessel repurposed to serve their cause. As the makeshift device hummed to life, the team held their breath. For long, agonizing moments, nothing seemed to change. Then, slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, the raging storms began to calm. The atmospheric readings, which had been fluctuating wildly, started to stabilize. "It's working," Yuki whispered, afraid to believe it. Then louder, "It's working." The control room erupted in cheers, humans and Zarkin embracing without care for their physiological differences. They had done it. Against all odds, they had stabilized a dying world. As the realization of their success sank in, exhaustion finally overtook the team. They slumped in their chairs, tears of relief and joy streaming down their faces. Captain Chen, her usual composure cracking, addressed the room. "I've never been prouder to be a part of any mission," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "What we've accomplished here, it's beyond anything I could have imagined. We came here as representatives of Earth, but we leave as citizens of the galaxy." Zilvan, the Zarkin ambassador, stepped forward. "You have saved not just our world, but our entire civilization," he said, his melodious voice carrying a depth of gratitude that transcended language. "The Zarkin will never forget this. From this day forward, our peoples are bound together in friendship and gratitude." As the team began the long process of assessing the changes they had wrought and planning for the planet's long-term recovery, a new sense of purpose filled them. They had come to Zarkin Prime to save a world, but in doing so, they had expanded the boundaries of what was possible. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, recording one final message to her daughter, summed it up best. "Maija," she said, her face glowing with pride and wonder, "we did it. We saved a planet. But more than that, we've shown what's possible when we reach out across the stars with open hands and open hearts. The universe is so much bigger now, so full of possibilities. And you, my dear, you're going to grow up in a galaxy where anything is possible." As the first rays of Zarkin Prime's sun broke through the newly stabilized atmosphere, bathing the land in a warm, hopeful light, the joint human Zarkin team stood together, united in their triumph. They had faced the impossible and emerged victorious, forever changing the course of two civilizations and opening the door to a new era of interstellar cooperation, a new alliance. In the weeks following the stabilization of Zarkin Prime, a palpable sense of renewal spread across the planet. The once turbulent skies gradually cleared, revealing a sun that seemed to shine with newfound brilliance. The ground, which had roiled with constant tremors, now lay still, as if the planet itself was catching its breath after a long, exhausting struggle. The human team, along with their Zarkin counterparts, worked tirelessly to monitor the planet's recovery and implement long-term solutions. The control room of the repurposed Starbridge, once a hive of frantic activity, now hummed with the steady rhythm of progress. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood before a holographic display of the planet, her face etched with a mixture of awe and satisfaction. "The core stabilization is holding beautifully," she reported to the assembled team. "We're seeing tectonic activity return to normal levels. It's like watching the rebirth of an entire world." Dr. Marcus Wells nodded, his usually wild hair now streaked with gray from the stress of their ordeal. "The new energy patterns we established are self-sustaining," he added. "Barring any unforeseen catastrophes, Zarkin Prime should remain stable for millions of years to come." Captain Sarah Chen, who had led the team through their darkest hours, allowed herself a rare smile. "You should all be incredibly proud," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "What we've accomplished here, it's nothing short of miraculous." As the immediate crisis passed, attention turned to the future. The success of the mission had opened up unprecedented opportunities for cooperation between Earth and Zarkin Prime. Scientists from both worlds eagerly exchanged knowledge, each finding new insights in the other's approach to problem-solving. Raj Patel found himself in his element, working alongside Zarkin engineers to adapt their advanced technology for use on Earth. Imagine, he enthused during a video call back home, clean energy solutions that could end our dependence on fossil fuels overnight. Medical breakthroughs that could cure diseases we thought were untreatable. The possibilities are endless. But it wasn't just scientific knowledge that was being exchanged. Ava Thompson, the team's anthropologist, spent long hours in discussion with Zarkin scholars, delving into the rich cultural heritage of both species. "We're not just building technological bridges," she explained during a team briefing. "We're laying the groundwork for a true meeting of minds and hearts across the vastness of space." As news of the mission's success spread across Earth, it sparked a global shift in perspective. The realization that humanity was not alone in the universe, and that they had played a crucial role in saving an alien civilization, ignited a new era of unity and purpose. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, in a poignant moment during a global broadcast, summed up the change. "For so long, we've been focused on our differences, nation against nation, ideology against ideology. But now, we've seen what we can achieve when we come together. We've literally saved a world. Imagine what we could do for our own planet if we approached our problems with the same spirit of cooperation." The Zarkin, true to their word, proved to be gracious and generous allies. They freely shared their advanced technology, helping Earth make monumental leaps in fields ranging from medicine to space exploration. In return, they embraced human creativity and adaptability, finding new solutions to age-old problems. Zilvin, speaking before a joint session of the United Nations, captured the spirit of this new alliance. "Once, we came to you as desperate supplicants, our world on the brink of destruction. Today, we stand before you as friends, as partners in the great adventure of exploring and understanding our universe. The hand of friendship you extended to us in our darkest hour has blossomed into a bond that will shape the destiny of both our peoples for generations to come." As the time approached for the Earth team to return home, emotions ran high. They had come to Zarkin Prime as strangers in a foreign land, but were leaving as honored heroes, having forged deep bonds with the world and its people. In a touching ceremony, the Zarkin bestowed their highest honors upon the human team. Each member was presented with a crystal that pulsed with the same bioluminescent energy as the Zarkin themselves, a symbol of the life they had restored to the planet. Captain Sarah Chen, accepting the honor on behalf of the team, spoke from the heart. "We came here prepared to face the unknown, to push the boundaries of what we thought was possible. What we found was not just a world in need, but kindred spirits. You've shown us that no matter how vast the distances between the stars, the things that truly matter, courage, compassion, the drive to help others, these are universal." As the team prepared to board their ship for the journey home, Dr. Elena Rodriguez took one last look at the Zarkin sky, now clear and blue. She thought of her daughter back on Earth, and of the new world of possibilities that had opened up for her. We set out to save a planet, Alina mused to her colleagues. But in the end, I think we've done so much more. We've proven that when we reach out across the stars with open hands and open minds, there's nothing we can't achieve. The journey back to Earth was filled with a mixture of triumph and anticipation. Each team member knew that they were returning to a world forever changed by their actions. They had left as representatives of humanity. They were returning as citizens of a much larger cosmic community. As the blue marble of Earth grew larger in their viewports, Captain Chen gathered the team for one final address. "Whatever challenges await us back home," she said, her voice filled with quiet conviction, "we face them knowing this. We are not alone in the universe, and together there is no challenge too great, no problem too complex that we cannot overcome." The Star Bridge, battle-scarred but triumphant, descended through Earth's atmosphere, carrying with it the promise of a new age. An age of interstellar cooperation, of boundless discovery, and of hope for a future where the peoples of distant worlds could come together to achieve the impossible. As they touched down on home soil, greeted by cheering crowds and a world eager to embrace its new role in the cosmos, each member of the team knew that this was not an end, but a beginning. The stars, once distant and unreachable, now beckoned with the promise of new friends, new challenges, and new wonders waiting to be discovered.